Gentleman is recognized for 3 minutes.
For yielding. Well, let me reiterate to my good friend from Massachusetts what the gentleman from California said. Citizens United did not do anything to repeal the ban against foreign money influencing American elections. So this bill has nothing to do with what the gentleman from Massachusetts just said. Now, I rise in opposition to the bill and to the rule. While H.R. 5175 is being touted by its supporters as increasing disclosure and transparency, the bill will ultimately serve as a roadblock to Americans who wish to exercise their First Amendment rights. The Supreme Court explicitly stated in Citizens United versus Federal Election Commission that there is no basis for the proposition in the context of political speech the government may impose restrictions on certain disfavored speakers. Boy, we've sure heard a list of those disfavored speakers from the other side of the aisle. However, this is exactly what this unconstitutional bill will do. The Citizens United decision struck down provisions of campaign finance law because of the unconstitutional restrictions on free speech, a right explicitly guaranteed by the First Amendment. The bill is simply a legislative workaround around Citizens United. The Supreme Court was very clear that prohibitions on political speech are unconstitutional, and it will be only a matter of time should this bill become law that it's struck down as well. The most glaring of this bill's unconstitutional provisions is the banning of political speech by government contractors and companies with as much as 80% ownership by American citizens. While a business may receive only a limited portion of its revenue from a government contract, under this bill that business would be prohibited from engaging in political dialogue on issues that are vital to its operations. Additionally, this bill punishes companies that attract overseas investors by banning political speech on companies where foreign nationals have at least a 20% stake. It's unfortunate that the supporters of this bill want to silence the voice of predominantly American companies. The bill further complicates matters of publicly traded corporations by forcing them to determine the percentage of company stock ownership by the nationality of the investor, which will most likely prove to be impossible. It's clear that the Disclose Act will institute unconstitutional restrictions. However, the crafters of this legislation have been careful to exempt labor unions from the restrictions. The desire to treat unions and corporations differently abandons the government's long-standing policy that treats them equally. However, this is not unexpected given a story published in the Hill newspaper last month, which revealed that the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees planned to spend in excess of $50 million in this fall's election, part of which will go to protecting incumbents. It's no wonder that the Democratic supporters of this bill have made. May I have an additional 30 seconds?
I yield the gentleman an additional 30 seconds, Madam Speaker.
The gentleman is recognized for 30 seconds.
It is no wonder that the Democratic supporters of this bill have made special exemptions for unions, and that any attempts in the House Administration Committee to rectify this discrimination between unions and corporations were defeated on party line votes. It's evident while this legislation increases disclosure requirements that imposes unconstitutional restrictions on free speech just in time to influence the outcome of the midterm elections. I urge my colleagues to vote no on the Disclose Act, to vote no on the rules, and uphold their oath of office. I yield the balance of my time back.
The gentlewoman